afternoon, everybody. My name is Wendell Pritchett, and I'm coming to you from Philadelphia. And I have the honor to serve as the chair of the board of trustees of College Unbound. And we're really grateful to all of you for joining us today to engage in a conversation about how we can profoundly change the higher education ecosystem. So 6 years ago, College Unbound began a new phase in its journey as we applied to the New England Commission of Higher Education for approval to offer degrees in higher education, which we received in 2020. With a decade of experience working with talented people to help them find and develop their talents, we were confident that we had a model for a meaningful educational experience, one that helped students expand opportunities for themselves, their families, and their communities. So 4 years since receiving accreditation in 2020, as the white paper that brings us together shows, we have proof of concept at this point. More than 200 College Unbound graduates just since fall of 2020. Fall enrollment at almost 500 students. A yearly retention rate over 80%, and a 3-year graduation of over 70%. Moreover, I'll let you digest those slides for a second. Moreover, our students' lives are being transformed. Some data from a recent alumni survey. Let's go to the next one. Thank you. 65% of our alums received a promotion since graduation. 69% report their employment is more secure. 39% have gone on to graduate school within 3 years. And 94% report greater belief in their own potential. Now, of all that data, to me, the last one is the most important. 94% report a greater belief in their own potential, as it signifies College Unbound's role in creating and nurturing and supporting lifelong learners. So, how do we do it? I'm blessed to be able to introduce to you my wonderful colleague, David Bromley, who's going to lead a discussion with our students, faculty, and partners explaining the CU model. So with that, take it away, David.
Thank you, Wendell, and good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Bromley. I serve as the site director of College Unbound in the Delaware Valley area, and also work on growth implementation across the college. I had the honor of working with Adam and with Dennis and with Wendell to scale College Unbound to Philadelphia 3 years ago with this unusual and powerful model. As Wendell just said, we're an accredited bachelor's degree organization and offering a BA in organizational leadership and change. And our academic model is really simple in a lot of ways. It's a very progressive model. All students are enrolled in cohorts in a lab that meets weekly, either in person or virtual. And then students take, full-time students take 3 other classes that are all online. We call our instructional classes. And someone move the next slide. There we go. As part of the core piece of our program is every student develops a project that really defines the change that they want to see for themselves in the world. And here's a little data from 2023 student survey highlighting the themes of those student projects. And you can see they range from education, youth development, to housing, community development, prisons, legal system, health, environmental justice, family support, and personal growth. Gives you a sense of what is meaningful to the College Unbound students. One of the ways that we've really changed and put a lot of energy and effort in the last 3 years is really to growing the college through enrollment partnerships, community partners. And we started this in Philadelphia by partnering with organizations like the Philadelphia Housing Authority, the School District of Philadelphia, and the City Year. We're starting a partnership with them. Wilmington Housing Authority, we've started a partnership with them, the Public Health Management Corporation. And as we've grown to the Washington State, South Carolina area, and in Rhode Island, we're exploring partnerships that are really aligned with those student project interests. So we have, as you can see, we have partnerships around housing, education, working with students that are reentering, and many others. I am not going to go too much into this right now because I really want the amazing group of students and faculty that we have here today to talk about their experience. So you guys get to hear first in hand. So I'm going to ask. We are joined today by three students: Kavina Tucker, who's right here from Philadelphia; Latifa Wright, who's also from Philadelphia; and Quintoria Jones, who's joining us from South Carolina. And we have three staff here, faculty here: Melissa Herder, who leads our Camden cohort in New Jersey; Sweta, who is a staff at CU, but also has been serving as lab faculty, working with the school district of Philadelphia students; and Shah Santana, who's also been working with our school district of Philadelphia students. So I'm going to ask you guys, and I will say your names out loud. Oh, that's really lovely. Getting to see you all. So let me just start. Can you guys do a brief, just like 30 seconds, because I have questions for y'all that we really want to get into. So 30-second overview, just introduce yourself and let us know what drew you to College Unbound. And Latifa, can I pick on you? Can you go first? Thank you.
That's perfect. Peace and love, everybody. To everybody that's on this call, please make space for yourselves in the way that you deserve to feel seen. My name is Miss Latifa Wright, aka Miss Wright. And what drew me to College Unbound was the opportunity to receive my bachelor's degree so that I could teach K-2 emotional support and special education. There is a big need for Black and Brown educators to give these babies a space to say that you can thrive and that you can be something different. So this opportunity with College Unbound, it really gave me a chance to fly because my associates is in photography. And while I teach that, it's also very important to teach the things that are important too. So I'm going to popcorn it to Miss Kavina.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone. So my name is Kavina Tucker. I'm in the Philadelphia area. Currently working for the Philadelphia Housing Authority. What drew me to CU was initially was the tuition. The fact that it was for adult learners was something else that drew me here. And the fact that you can get work experience, your work experience, I should say, can be converted into college credit was my things that drew me. And I'll popcorn. I'm probably going to butcher your name, Miss Jones.
Thank you. I'm Quintoria Jones. I'm in Greenville, South Carolina. And what drew me to College Unbound was basically what Ms. Kavina said, the fact that you could get credit for your work, well, basically your life experience, and also just the fact that it was a non-traditional, because I'm a single mother of four, and just the fact that I wanted to further my education and show my children, because they're very big on what you do, not what you say. So that was what drew me. So, Miss Melissa.
Hello, everyone. I'm Melissa Herder. I am lab faculty at CU Camden in New Jersey. What drew me to College Unbound was I used to teach at a big picture learning school. And so I wholly believe in the vision and the mission of the big picture learning brand. And so when I was introduced with the opportunity to connect with David to be founding lab faculty for the Camden cohort, I was on board from day one. It's an amazing experience, and I'm glad I said yes. I'm going to popcorn it to Sweta.
Hi everyone, I'm Swetha, also based in Philly. I'm lab faculty, and like David said, also I get to support the transformative education pathway students in Philly, including Miss Wright. And the reason that I was drawn to CU, similar to what Melissa said, is that I also have a background in K-12 education, teaching in a school that was a very similar model, community focused and really centering the experiences of students. And so hearing about CU was just something really exciting and refreshing. And so I was glad to be drawn into the fold and get to continue this work. And to Shah.
Yes, Swetha, thank you. Hi, David. Thanks for asking me to be here. I'm Shah Santana, full name Shahran Santana. I was drawn to CU through PFT, the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers. I was a teacher with the Philadelphia School District, and I was advocating for more pathways into being a teaching professional for paraprofessionals. So as we signed our collective bargaining agreement, we kind of partnered up with College Unbound to create these pathways for our paraprofessionals within the school district. At that point, I was approached about, hey, in addition to advocating for this program, how would you like to be a part of it? So I said, well, great, you know, in like a leadership or faculty role. And then as I began to learn more about it, I connected with David, and David and I already worked together through Big Picture as well. So it just was, it was a lot of synergy, and it seemed like it was meant to be. Being with CU and being with lab faculty, it's really been a life-changing experience. My students, I have 4, maybe 5 students who are now teachers in the Philadelphia School District, and that is very rewarding. And I'm so happy to be a part of their career and life journey.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, you all. That was fantastic. I'm gonna pick on some people and call your name out and ask a specific question to you. So Kavina, I'm gonna start by picking on you first. So and I can do that because Kavina and I spent a lot of time together in the cohort. So Kavina, can you describe, is there a type of student who you think thrives in our learning environment? And what impact has CU had on you since you joined over a year ago?
Um, I feel, in my personal opinion, that anyone can thrive at CU. CU is equipped to allow any type of learner to just become, adaptable into this setting and environment. With all of the CU staff, everyone that I've encountered have been very welcoming, inspiring. I also believe some of the traits or characteristics that a student should have, they should be disciplined or willing to become disciplined. They should be hardworking, someone that would be dedicated to themselves and their career path. I also believe that it should be someone that is willing to lead or in point, like going in a direction of wanting to lead, and have good communication skills is what I believe an ideal student should have. Coming to see you has been phenomenal. It's been awesome. Coming from a traditional university in the past, it's nothing like it. When I came as a student, a new student to see you, I heard everyone speak of like family, the family connection. I was like, oh, I don't know about this. This is just school. But once you're here, you learn that this is your family. Like you really do become family. You become close. Like it's a close knit thing. I remember just like going through just like life trials, things happen, right? So when things happen, you don't expect your professor to reach out to you and, find out like what's going on with you. How can I help? What supports do you need? The fact that, you have counseling services that are offered here for the students is, phenomenal. It's something that is needed, not only just for the CU student, but also for their family members as well. So it's just been an awesome experience.
Kavina, thank you so much. Quintoria, you joined us starting this just past August, so you are in the midst of your first semester at CU. So what impact, maybe that's a too big a word to say, but what impact has CU had on you in a couple months here so far?
Whew, it has had a tremendous impact. It gave me hope, purpose. Kind of to piggyback off what Miss Kavina said. Initially I was a little skeptical because I'm like non-traditional. Like she said, coming from a traditional college to a non-traditional can be I don't even have a word for it, but it's like, okay, like she said, your professor's reaching out to you. I started in August. In September the 1st, my nephew was murdered. He was shot and killed shot 4 times and killed. He was 17. So that was 2 weeks in. I just started. So like she said, life hits and it hit hard. For me, I took that very hard because my nieces and nephews are like my babies. And I'm still trying to process that now. And I had a conversation with my lab faculty because I wanted to quit. But Miss Joquita Seabrook, she is so amazing. She's the reason I'm still here. And I'm sorry, Miss Michelle. The school even sent flowers to me and my family. So when she said about that family, like, it's not just something that College Unbound says, it's something that they actually do. So I'm sorry. It just gave me purpose. Because I wanted to quit and just give up. It's easy to give up than to keep moving forward. But it definitely gave me purpose and hope. And on top of that, my babies, because they're my light. But in the midst of all of this that we had going on, I'm, in here trying to do my work, and my classmates, they're not here, or my cohort, but like when we have class, they pop their head in and be waving in the background, my 5-year-old, and they hold me accountable. Like, Mommy, did you do your homework? Are we doing our homework? So they'll come while I'm in class and sit in here and do their homework with me. But I say that to say, it gave them drive, because all of my babies made honor roll this semester, well, past semester. So it has definitely impacted me to want to keep, moving forward and strive for something, amazing.
Quintoria, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much. Sweta, I'm going to call on you and ask, with your experience supporting different enrollment partners, how, like the School District of Philadelphia, how do these different enrollment partners, in your opinion, benefit from partnering with CU?
I think the way that I see the partnerships supporting students has been really special because of the tangible. Once you graduate, there's something else. There's something that you're moving on to. That there's a clear pathway to, frankly, a higher salary. There's a pathway to something that improves your life in some tangible way. And I think being able to, from the CU side, have a partner in a community organization that's also supporting the student, I think is like a double whammy, right? You get supports and accountability and everything that you need from both sides, which I think is, yeah, important.
Thank you. Latifa, I'm going to ask you to piggyback on what Sweta just shared. And if you could describe, like, how does that kind of collaboration that Sweta described, being a student that comes to us as a paraprofessional of the School District of Philadelphia, how does that partnership between College Unbound and the School District of Philadelphia shape your experience so far at CU?
Okay, before I answer, I have to give light and space to Miss Quintoria. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and transparent and living in your truth and giving us that truth, because I know that can be hard. But with God's grace and mercy, you're going to be all right and y'all going to be good. And I can't wait to see you graduate because you're going to be the bomb. Okay, now, I think that the partnership between College Unbound and CU is important and imperative because, like myself, there were paraprofessionals who had been in the field for 5-10 years wanting to teach, wanting to do something else. But like everybody said, life happens. Some of these people have families, some of these people have lost family members, had to move. So this partnership allows paraprofessionals to step into a teaching role, especially if the people around them want them to succeed. Like right now, I'm at work. I told my principal, hey, I have to do this panel. My lead teacher was like, go ahead. I have your lesson plan already. So the support you get from the school and the support that you get from CU, they are married in a way. My lab faculty have been very supportive. Everybody at CU has been very supportive of my teaching journey and where that's taking me. And I also think that this collaboration allows for us to get full-time employment doing something we want to do. So if your end game is not to be a teacher, but you want to be a counselor, you can do that. If you don't want to be a counselor, but you want to work in the main office building, you can do that too. So I think it just gives breath to something new to be dreamt up and imagined. And I think that's what we all need right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Latifa. Appreciate that. Melissa, what makes teaching at College Unbound distinctive from other institutions, and how do you balance challenging students intellectually with providing students with the support they need to succeed?
So teaching at College Unbound is distinctive because we center on the student learning. It's very student driven, highly personalized. We connect our academic work with real life projects in the community, which really make a difference for the person. We are meeting the students where they are. So many times in life, we say, be the change you want to see in the world. So being a CU student gives the students this opportunity to be the change in their world. It doesn't have to be the whole world. In your own personal world, how can you make a difference? Where do you see a need? And let's work on that. A lot of times the students come in and they're struggling with finding a project idea because they're thinking huge scale. And so I tell my students, no, I think of something that you see in your community or in your life or in your family where you think there should be a change, or you can contribute, or you can make a difference. It doesn't have to be a giant difference. It can be a small difference, and then you can build on that. And so, like everyone said, it's like a family here. We, as a staff member, I'm more like a mentor opposed to a traditional lecturer. My students know that they can reach me on the weekends. They know that they can text me in the middle of the night. I'm helping to find resources, and everyone has a different need. And so there are different resources, or that they're connecting with each other or sharing community assets. It's an amazing experience to be here. We, aside from the curriculum that we have, it's just not a standard curriculum. We add things. This semester, I added a book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, and I was a little worried because each week we're doing a different law, but the students, they love it. And so it's inspiring. They inspire me. They tell me I'm inspiring to them, but they inspire me every day with their projects and the things that they're doing. I also noticed how I love to watch how they grow in their project. You'll have sometimes students come in and they'll say, okay, I'm going to do this project because I have to. And then just to watch them blossom and even change their projects into something that is more meaningful to them. You can see people light up and glow when they're talking about things that are really relevant to them in their life and the changes that they want to make. So also my husband is a CU student, and he makes me proud. He is finishing up this semester, and I couldn't be more proud. And that's how bought into the vision and the mission of the school I told him, this is the place where you need to be, and he joined, and he's doing well with all A's without my help.
Melissa, thank you so much. Shah, so you've been at CU serving as faculty for over 2 years now. And can you kind of piggyback on what Melissa said? How do you support and challenge your students?
Well, now I serve in a different role, but initially when I was lab faculty, very much like Melissa said, it feels like a family, and that was surprising to me. That was very unexpected, even as a professor or an instructor, and we're told like, what it is. You still don't know your students when you first call them. You still see their name and their ID number on a sheet of paper, and it all feels very formal at first. But as you enter into the learning via that core project, I don't know where it happens, but there is a transition, and it's seamless from like student to family. I did not feel like an instructor anymore. I am still in touch with them. I'm so happy, like, to hear how they are doing. It feels like friends. It feels like true friendship has emerged and evolved. And I know that I'm a part of their life story as they are a part of mine. The core projects just introducing me to problems in their communities, in their schools that I just was unfamiliar with, or I wasn't aware it was really an issue. And I've been in the school district for 20 years. There were still things through their eyes that, I was able to take another look at, or to take a step back and say, wow, this is an issue. I just want to highlight one example. One of my students did support for special needs students with animals. I never knew about that. And I was like, is this real? I really didn't at the time. And now I know there's a big push in the Philadelphia School District with funding for support animals for our students with special needs, for emotional support. So that was introduced to me by a paraprofessional, one of my students, in lab faculty, just to show that it's really an exchange. I think I gave all that I could give, but I got it back 10 times fold. So I hope that, answers your question.
And more. Thank you all. I'm super. I have dozens more questions, and I'd love to just hang out with you all for the next hour or two and ask more questions. But unfortunately, we're out of time for this, and I'm really, really grateful for your commitment and what you shared and your thought from your heart. So thank you. And we're going to move on and take this to another step, though, and so I get the honor of introducing to do that, Sylvia Spears.
Wow. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much to the students and faculty who joined the panel. I just want us to kind of take a breath, to actually take in what you just heard. For some people, take a breath, and if you put your hand on your heart, you'll actually let it absorb just a little bit more. That's not, yeah, there you go. That's right, Latifa. Wow.
I'm really thankful to be in it with you, Sylvia. And even when there's fear, that we got it together and we can tackle it together. And I've been really thankful to be in the space for the last hour with everybody, really thinking about College Unbound. The unbound in our name is something that's been on my mind today. There's an irony to it. We're unbound, yes, from like traditional structures of learning. As we know, like learning happened long before there were institutions of learning. But being unbound from what was also means we're more and more bound together. That's a part of what was being teased out this past hour. We're tied together towards a deeper commitment to learning in this world. I always want to bring artists and poets into this work, and Sylvia and I and others were recently reading Audre Lorde, who writes, quote, "Tomorrow belongs to those who can conceive of it as belonging to everyone, those who lend the best of ourselves to it and with joy." There's real joy with learning together and in recognizing one another's humanity. I'm excited that with that, the head of the Federation of State Humanities Councils has joined us today. I'm excited that the partnership work we do and need to do is also about the relationships between learning in life, learning through text, through workplace, through caregiving, across generations, so that all the parts of ourselves can emerge in what it means to be together. We don't need to have barriers that keep those parts of us apart. We need to be in partnership. There's real joy in building together across the institutions we run. The release of the white paper, that was our excuse for gathering today, the celebration of this text that comments about who we've been, where we are, and where we want to go. That white paper documents stories of institution building, of civic partnership, and a possibility in having a commitment to place. It does so through case studies of our work in Philadelphia. It shows what can happen new, because higher ed can support our civic institutions better. It can support our sites of learning better and across our cities, and it can support the inquiry that we need to do to get there. I really also want to take a moment to thank the paper's author, Richard Kazis, who's here with us today. Richard, it's good to see you. And for his work in teasing out so many stories of impact and possibility. Like Wendell said at the opening, 65% of CU students receive a promotion within 3 years of graduating. 94% share a greater belief in their own potential, and naming it as a greater belief in their own potential coming out of College Unbound and their degree. This conversation about growth that we're having today isn't about more students and more sites. And sometimes growth gets like named in that way. But when we say growth, it's about more learning. It's about growing our capacity to learn together. I'm really, really thankful to be here together. I'm really thankful and excited to be partners with you all in this work. And I'm excited to follow up with each of you as 2024 comes to a close, so we can talk more and more about how this college, how this platform for learning, how this College Unbound can complement and support the work we are looking to do in this world, and the ways that we can continue to partner, to fund, and to build a college that grows with the ethics that Audre Lorde named, those of belonging and of joy.